Okay, so you see, the devil knows that he can't prevent you sometimes from doing good things. He can't. You're going to do it anyway. But what he aims is to allow you to fall into something that he's going to then be able to lead you away from the faith. For instance, the poor people who got so involved in Medjugorje. At first, it was all about saying the rosary. I'm going to pray the rosary. The devil knew they were going to pray the rosary. He couldn't stop them from saying the rosary. So why not let them go and meet with a group to say the rosary that's all involved in Medjugorje, so that they'll become charismatics, so that they'll become not real Catholics, but Pentecostal Catholics, charismatic Catholics. They won't be really practicing the faith. You see, that's what we're talking about. That's what St. Ignatius means. The devil allows some consolations. I remember a man who came up to me and he said, "But Father, my rosary turned gold at Medjugorje." I said, "Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to say you're a liar, but I'm going to say still, look at the fruits. The people that go there are all becoming charismatic. They're not becoming more fervent in the traditional Catholic religion. They're becoming charismatic. By their fruits you will know them." You see, Medjugorje, what it did was it led these people to the charismatic movement, which led them to false ecumenism, meaning that they started thinking, because the message at Medjugorje says it doesn't matter what religion you are. Just be a good Muslim, be a good Hindu, be a good Jew, be a good Christian. False ecumenism, where there's no one true faith. And so this person, by saying the rosary, you might say, was led into Medjugorje, was led into false ecumenism, was led to the loss of the true faith. Again, the devil knew you were going to say the rosary anyway. He knew it. He could see. He could see by the way you were headed. I'm not going to be able to stop her from saying the rosary, but I certainly can bring her away from the faith. The devil often allows some good, but it's always for an evil end. And I often think nowadays about so many Catholics who have been led into Protestant religions. At first, they go with some Protestant friend to a Bible study. And they say, "Oh, this is good. These people are so nice." And they come back and they tell their, priest, or they tell their family, "Oh, I felt so welcome there. They were so kind. The people were at that Protestant church were so good to me. They embraced me. They made me feel right at home. There's so much charity there. It has to be from God." The devil's laughing. The devil's laughing because he knows he'll allow you those little consolations. Reading sacred scripture, yes, it's a good thing. It consoles you, that's a good thing. But the devil knows that if he can get you through that to leave the sacraments of the Catholic religion, he's won a great victory. This person then, all of a sudden, their Bible study becomes their religion, and they say, "Well, these Protestants are good people. I don't think it matters where I go to church. The Protestants are just as good." And again, like Medjugorje, they're led away from the true faith. And that's how the devil works. And he's very successful this way. Just think about that for a moment. This is exactly how so many Catholics today have lost the faith. They've been led astray through some good at first, something that consoled them, but then it led them down the wrong path. So be very careful. Be very careful. Rule number 4. It is the characteristic of the evil one to transform himself into an angel of light, to work with the soul in the beginning, but in the end to work for himself. At first, he'll suggest good and holy thoughts that are in conformity with the disposition of a just soul. Then little by little he strives to gain his own ends by drawing the soul into his hidden deceits and perverse designs. So, again, similarly, he tries to push a good person to do too much. He tries to work with the soul at first, but he's really working for himself. For instance, St. Francis de Sales talks about this in the Introduction to a Devout Life, how a good and pious soul who starts doing penance, they have a good intention. And then the devil is suggesting actually good things to them, but he's causing them to do too much. For instance, let's say a person starts doing penance and they ruin their health, and they're no good anymore for their family. A woman, let's say, who takes care of 7 kids and a husband and a big house that she has to take care of, and the devil starts suggesting to her that she needs to fast more, or she needs to spend more hours in prayer, and she starts neglecting her duties, and her health starts to break down. It's kind of, you see how all these rules are sort of related to one another. It's showing you how the devil gets in to destroy the good intentions or the good work of a pious soul. The Curé of Ars is an example of rule number 4. He was twice tricked into leaving Ars. The suggestion was made to him that he needed to go to a monastery to do penance for his sins. And so, twice he left his parish to go off to a monastery to pray and to weep for his life. But the devil knew, if I can get him out of here, if I can get this priest out of this parish, well, my work will be much easier. So the devil was suggesting something good in the beginning, but he was striving to gain his own end by his hidden deceits and perverse designs, as St. Ignatius says. I always think of that story too. I'm sure I've told it to you in a sermon before, but it's worth repeating here. This monk went off to live in the desert, in a hermitage in the desert, and he built himself a hermitage that was a couple miles from a stream. And he had this desire to live far away from everybody, to worship God in silence and prayer. And he would walk every day to the stream to get water from the stream for his meals and such, for his survival. And he would offer up that trip to God as his penance. But after some time being in the desert, the devil started suggesting to him that he should build his hermitage closer to the stream so he had more time to spend in prayer. So you have more time for spiritual pursuits. You won't have to spend so much of your day walking back and forth to the stream. And that seemed like a good idea to the monk. So he tore down his hermitage and he rebuilt it near the stream. So he didn't have so far to go. And as he was doing this, as he started walking to his new location near the stream, he heard a voice counting. Every step he took, he heard a voice saying, 122, 123. And he'd stop and he'd look up. What was that? And he took another step, 124. And took another step, 125. And he knelt down and he prayed, please, Lord, what is it that you want of me? What does this mean? And he came to understand. He, just through prayer and meditation, he came to realize that it was the number of steps he was taking, that he had offered to God those steps a long time ago as his penance, and that he could pray while he walked. And he realized that, this was a deceit of the evil one to cause him to lessen his penances, to stop him from doing what he had first set out to do, suggesting to him something that seemed good, but in the end was the devil was working for himself.